Hi, Dr. George Hillman. What I'm going to show you very briefly is how to edit your syllabus within Canvas. Now, once again, across all of our courses, we are using a product called Simple Syllabus, and you have two ways to edit your syllabi through Simple Syllabus. And one, which is actually probably the easiest, is here directly in Canvas. So once your Canvas course has been preloaded with your information that you're teaching for that semester, you will see this option to be able to build. Now, I'm currently in a course that I'm teaching this semester, but the mechanics of this are going to be very similar. On the left-hand side in the navigation menu, you're going to see something that says syllabus, but you do not want to click on that. You want to find what is called simple syllabus. And when we click on that, it will load within the window your syllabus for that particular course. So again, this is Teaching Process EML 5105. Myself and Dr. Heather Severding are team teaching this course together. And you will see in the upper right-hand corner where it says Edit. Now, I will go on and tell you, if you are working in Apple Safari, you may not see that edit button up there. So I want to strongly recommend you using Google Chrome for when you're working within Canvas, because that way I can make sure that you have the edit button here. But again, this is what the syllabus looks like, just like any other course like you have. If you are wanting to edit within this, you just click on the edit button there, and then the various different sections will pop up. Now, we have over here on the side, we have instructions, and so you can click and it will pop open instructions, what we're looking for in these various different sections. Now, let's say, for example, that it has me and Dr. Severding teaching, but then Dr. Severding, for some reason, is not going to be teaching this semester. I can just hit the pencil icon, and I can delete or I can hide individual elements that are there. The course description, this is the course description that is in the catalog. This is the course description that is in the registrar's office, and so that is an automatic thing that ports over. You notice you do not have an opportunity to edit anything in the course description. The course objectives, those have been ported over from previous versions of this course. And so if you were teaching one of your core courses within a department, those are probably already established, and those are course objectives that you have carried over from semester to semester and from professor to professor. But if you need to change any of your course objectives, again, you will click the pencil icon there and write whatever you want to write there. Now, what you can also do is the assessment method. If you want to show this is the test, this is the paper that actually matches to that course objective, you can do that. If there's a course description there that you are not wanting to have visible, you can hit the hide button and you can make that not visible. You can change the order. So use the up and down arrows there to move up and down the various different course objectives. And again, instructions are always on the side. Look for that arrow on the side. When you get down here to your textbooks, again, these are textbooks that were ported over from a previous semester. If you have a change in a textbook, again, you can hit the pencil icon. You can enter in the new information. The great thing about this is that it will port over the information from the web, so you get the nice little image, and it's a very slick thing that it's able to do. But you'll have your textbooks. It has an area for recommended reading and supplemental bibliography. We are not requiring that. What we would strongly recommend instead is that you have a separate document that you can either host in Canvas or you can hand out in class that would maybe have your recommended reading and your supplemental bibliography. One of the reasons why, and we just want to be very frank and honest about this, is that we have students, if they see the recommended readings, they're buying all of those books. And then at the end of the class, they said, why did I buy this book? It was in the syllabus and my professor never referred to it. So we want to make sure that the books that are listed are the required textbooks for the class. Reading assignments, you will type in your information, what you have for the different reading assignments for a course. There's written assignments. Again, teaching process doesn't not have written assignments because it's all oral presentation. There are communication and media assignments. This is a heavy communication course. You're going to see buttons here where it says visible and not visible and public or private. So the difference in those two things is visible versus not visible. You'll notice here written assignments. There are no written assignments for teaching process. So I turned that off because it's not an area that I have. But if it's an area that I want to have in my syllabus, I just click that and make it visible. Private versus public. This syllabus is available for people to see. You might want to have a section of your syllabus that is only visible for the students in that particular semester in that course. That is where the public versus private. But one of the things why we are using simple syllabus is that we want our students, when they're registering for classes, to be able to see what is the required work for various different classes. So if you have a compelling reason to make something private, you can, but we'd like to keep things public so that the prospective students for your course can see what is required for your syllabus. So you'll see reading assignments, you'll see written assignments, you'll see communication media assignments, quizzes, exams, anything you want to add in there. The weighting for the course, again, you will put that in there in that chart form. For you who are teaching BE courses or ST courses, and you have some of the MA counseling students that are doing the course for 2 credit hours versus 3 credit hours, this is where you would put that information there. If you have something about extra credit, you can put that there. Then you're going to see some areas that we actually post in here. So the electronic etiquette policy, this comes out of the student handbook. You're going to notice that it says the 2024-2025 student handbook. We are updating this to reflect the latest edition of the student handbook, and that is something that is going to be in all syllabi across the board. Whatever your policy is about late assignments, this is information from the student handbook about how absences are treated, the academic integrity, the plagiarism statement. Those are all things that we put in the master template, and it automatically loads into your syllabus. Faculty accessibility, disabilities, emergency text alerts, and the grading scale. So all those things are things that are automatically ported into Simple Syllabus. You do not need to touch any of those things. The final thing I want to talk about very briefly is the due dates, and I want to explain how the due dates work. This is synced with Canvas. So when you change your assignment in Canvas, it automatically changes here in Simple Syllabus. Now, I know some of you are very heavy Canvas users. For this is a pleasure to use because you just have to edit one place. You edit in Canvas what your assignments are, and then overnight it will automatically change here within Simple Syllabus. If you are not a heavy Canvas user, if you are doing things outside of Canvas, what I would probably recommend is you not worry about this section. You can turn it off, and then you can focus on either a separate document that has your due dates, or it's something you can discuss in class. If you edit something here, it will actually cause a break in the chain. So you never want to edit within here within due dates. If you're using this section, you want to edit within Canvas in your assignments in Canvas, and then it will automatically port over. I hope that all makes sense. And then, of course, when you make a change, you hit submit, and then the changes are taking place. You can download a PDF. You can copy this and email this out to your students for PDF. The syllabus URL is there as well. But again, it automatically, for the students, when that happens, it automatically updates here, and your students are going to Simple Syllabus looking for the syllabi. If you have any questions about Simple Syllabus and about getting things edited in here, please do not hesitate to reach out to my office. We would love to help.